All right, we're here.
Oh, where?
We're here.
Where are we?
Right there.
There. Oh,
right there. Oh man, let's get this show
I'm feeling
rolling.
really good with the whip. You know,
with the
you gotta
slap them.
Yep. Oh, nice, bro. I was going through my photos in my cloud last night, and I ran into some videos from just probably,
like some old videos.
Not real old. No, maybe a few months, 4 months, 5 months.
Was I dancing in them?
Yeah, and you were slapping me, dude. You slapped me like 8 times.
I did not slap you.
Yeah, you were so into
I
the
might
music.
have humped your leg, but I didn't slap you.
You did that too. I got that too.
I did not slap you.
You were
dude.
so into the music that was playing, you were using my shoulder.
There's no way I slapped
for a
you.
drum. So you were hitting me to the beat, but you weren't just hitting me, bro. All right, it was like borderline punch. I mean, you could even hear it, dude. You saw it in my eyeball.
I don't remember shit. I don't.
Yep.
And I'm sure you didn't remember it till you watched the video.
If I would have never remembered it without that video. And then I got you running around the island, and y'all just screaming.
I was dancing.
Dude,
Lisa and I were dancing.
Feeling it, bro. I'm going to do a compilation.
Please don't.
Video.
No.
Oh.
It's not a good plan.
Definitely doing it now. Now that I saw that reaction, folks, coming soon.
Yeah, for the love of God.
I'll do a couple of those spots in slow motion, too, like when you're punching me in the arm.
Boom.
You were just feeling that music, brother.
Mm-hmm. All right. 50 seconds.
That'll be
that
50
started,
seconds.
so.
50 seconds. Oh, man. Yo, Lisa, how you doing?
How you doing?
Yo, Lisa. Yo, Lisa.
Is it your Lisa?
Yep.
Yep.
Let's give her a kiss in the air.
Okay.
Meatball style.
All right, folks, let's do
Leslie,
this. Great
Jamie,
guest tonight.
Sarah,
You all
Doug.
know him. We all love him.
Hi, everyone.
All right, here we go.
Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Journey into the matrix of the mind. Stretch your imagination and challenge reality. Abnormal realities are beacons for the imagination. What society deems abnormal may be more real than we think. This is Abnormal Realities with your hosts, Ron Phillips and Rocky Stucci.
So I'm not lying, brother. All right, so the gunshots went off, and
Did you hear them?
Yeah. Oh well, Lisa.
Because
really
it was
heard 'em.
literally around the corner.
It was a block away. So I had the outfit that we ordered a couple weeks ago in my closet.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find the cape. So it literally looked like I was wearing a spandex onesie.
Red and blue, right?
Red and blue. And nobody.
But you heard them, though. I'm asking. You heard the gunshot.
It was. You could hear them from 4 blocks away.
God, dude. And apparently they knew each other.
I'm sure they did.
It was probably a drug deal going
You owe
bad.
me $20.
Drug deal going bad. I'm pretty sure it was. There was a shooting in the neighborhood where Rocky lives because it's the ghetto. I'm joking.
I had nothing on that, brother, because I couldn't. The
it was
houses
hard to
are
dispute,
nice,
but
people steal our packages and shit.
People
man.
have stolen your packages.
Not ours.
Oh, okay.
I told Lisa, I
Do
said,
you have
I want to set
you have a
trap.
sign that says "Steal this package and lose your life"?
Everything. I said,
That's what I'm talking about.
It says, you steal this package, they're going to need a shovel. Okay? They're going to need a shovel. Please try to take my tumbler.
Oh yeah.
My tumbler, don't touch it.
They just bring them back to you. Hey, can you put something on these?
Yeah, hey, can you put my logo on this mother?
Yeah, that's great.
Man.
All right, let's get him in here, dude. Let's get him in here. Let him join the conversation. You tell us who it is.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is the big, the sexy, the black sweater wearing, the big freaking cannoli. Boom.
Scotty Roberts.
I'm just checking to see that nobody stole my package.
Oh,
Okay, we're good. We're good.
He still got his package.
Scotty, what would you do if you saw somebody coming up and trying to touch your stuff right at your front door? What would you do? Would you go full like ninja?
Beat the ever-loving crap
Well,
out
it
of
was like the guy many years ago that I saw walking out my sliding glass door in the middle of the night
What?
with a bunch of my stuff under his arm.
No freaking way.
And I had nothing on. I threw on a pair of jeans, and I ran out the door, and he's half a yard away. And I go, "Hey,
whoa,
you're wearing my hat."
Ooh.
And he started to run, so I chased him. I was barefoot with a pair of jeans on, bare-chested, barefoot.
Ooh.
Chased him down, tackled him.
Ooh.
And he
did he give up the hat?
Of course.
Did you kick
the
him?
hat fell off. Thank goodness. You know which hat it was? It was my Scottish bonnet. It was the beret, you know.
Hell no, not the Scottish bonnet.
With the cockade, and it had the 18-inch 2 pheasant feathers.
No, dude, I want one.
See,
of
that's
those.
an ass whooping waiting to happen. I'm just telling you.
You touch my.
And I saw him, and I said,
thing
"Hey,
with feathers?
you're wearing my hat."
Ooh.
And so I tackled him.
Oh.
We ended up in the gutter.
Yeah.
And he starts doing something, and I grabbed him around I grabbed his windpipe. And I said him, you know how guys did in grade school when you were out at recess and the bully would sit on top, you need to tap on your chest with his finger, you know. I did that to him. And I said, I'm so blanking sick of you blanking bad guys. You're blanking going to jail.
Ooh!
Mother blanking.
Ooh!
Mother blanking. I'm using that from now on. You mother blanker.
Man, blank you, bro.
He said something like, "I can't breathe." And I said, "That's the point." And by the time I got through my little speech to him, cops were running from all corners. My wife had called
You hear
the
that dinging?
police and said it was a live crime. And so there were 6 squad cars converged, east side of St. Paul.
Yeah, east side,
And,
baby.
Rocky would know that. And over by Johnson Parkway and something over there.
Oh, yeah.
And so 6 squad cars converged, and they pulled him up. And by the time they had him on his feet and they cuffed him, he's swearing at me then. And then he's all mouthy.
What?
And we found $1,200 worth of our stuff in the bag he dropped and his pockets of this big trench coat he had.
Oh.
And they had it all laid out on the squad car.
I'm hearing that
So
ding. I don't know
that
what
was
that
when-
is.
I know what it is.
Oh, you do?
The squad car?
Yeah, no, that
Yeah,
ding.
right.
So every time your hand hits your desk,
Oh, sorry. You know what? Here, look.
and producer Ron goes into full motion, and Ron's like,
I do. I'm like,
Sorry.
what is that sound?
Sorry, there's 2 ceramic coffee cups sitting right next to each other. And when I
It's okay, cannoli.
bounce, you make something ring.
It's
So-
okay, buddy. Here you go.
It's tumblers.
There you go. There you go. Oh, there you go.
No, you're going to make his legs shake.
See, he played into
really.
it. That was
What?
perfect.
Now, what are we talking about tonight? Because last night I think you asked him about Nephilim, right?
No,
Nephilim.
the Reptilians.
Oh, the Reptilians.
Yeah,
that's right.
because Nancy brought us down a rabbit hole, and things
As she
that
does.
you are very, very familiar with all the different things you have done. But some of this topic started going down the realms of how everything's interconnected, from religion to people and all that stuff. And then they got into the subject of these reptilian species. And now this is what they were saying in this documentary, is that there's good and bad reptilian species that are here on this planet. Now, the bad ones are kind of like the crew that was helping Hitler during World War II with certain technologies, with information, with stuff like that. And then there's the good ones, which the majority of them are in the Antarctica. So they're saying that the government works with these things, whatever, reptilians, lizards, people, and other country governments are fully aware of all of this. And so they were saying some of these things were up to 15 feet tall, very descriptive, said they stunk like rotten frickin' elephant butthole.
There's that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't think they said the elephant part, though.
They probably didn't.
But
I
they really stunk.
was just curious as to how you knew that.
So, and now, because I come up with some,
No,
dude, I felt that
I'm
too.
sure you did.
All right. So when we talk about reptilians. Now, the reason I want to have you on in regard to this subject is because you wrote a book about reptilians, but yet you sit here today and say that you're even conflicted with some of your views in your writings.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was when I wrote the book.
Yep. Explain that, brother. Explain it.
The first thing, hit the business end of that. After my book, The Rise and Fall of the Nephilim, came out from my publisher, New Page Books, which is now owned by Red Wheel Weiser. They said, "What are you going to do for your next book?" And I said, "Oh, a next book, cool." And I gave them a bunch of topics, and on that list was the Reptilians, and which I didn't know much about at the time. We're talking 2012. And so they said, "Oh, do one on the Reptilians." And so I think I called the book The Reptilian Enigma, and they retitled it The Secret History of the Reptilians. And it was all about, it was subtitled something like the pervasive presence of the serpent throughout human history, religion, and alien mythos. And what the book became, it started as a study for me on the reptilian factor that's out there. What's to this? Is there anything to this? We hear so much about this. It was really big in the ancient alien circles back then. And so I really started researching. It still is. What I found was that, and this was just superficial research, you start looking historically, you even looking at all the old statues from, ancient times. Sumeria, the Sumerian culture had all these statuettes and things that, oh, these are reptilians, obviously. But you start looking into it, and you can't really find anything that says that there was a reptilian race in ancient culture. You do find reptilian references. You find what was the one? There's a lot
when
of
you say reptilian references, are you talking like reptilians, like lizards, drawings of?
No, you never even see references to "and the lizard people came." No, you see things like Oannes was an ancient historian, writer, mythologist, if you will. I think he was in like the 5th century BCE, but he wrote about the god men that would come out of the waters, half man, half fish, but they were gods, and they would come out of the waters and they would teach the people all the different skills, ancient peoples, how to write, how to cultivate land, how to make weapons, how to do cosmology, all that kind of stuff. And so you find other writings that talk about that, but an amphibian type of a person or a fish type of a person isn't reptilian. And if you look at like some of the old carvings that you would see from ancient Babylon and of course Sumer, those regions, you see the man that's wearing the headdress that looks like a big carp over his head. It's a big tail going all the way down, and that was meant to be the mitre and the cape that came off of it, that was part of the remembrance, if you will, or a ceremonial dress.
What does the fish represent?
The fish back then, I have no idea what the fish represented. There was it just stated in the old mythology that there was the half man, half fish, and his people who would come up out of the waters and teach the people.
Scotty, if a half woman, half fish,
mermaid,
swimming up onto the shore and just, maybe wanted to hook up for a night, maybe have you rub her gills a little bit, I mean, would you?
All depends on what kind of gills she had.
Dude, I think that's a big factor in that decision-making process.
I am definitely, not to reveal too much or TMI.
Dude, you can comb her scales. You know what I'm saying? You can brush her scales, bro.
Scales. And I'm a boob man, so do mermaids have nice asses? I don't know. I've never seen one.
Scotty and I would get along really well. So.
But you know, you flip one over.
It's not technically an ass though, because the torso is where
No.
it converts into a fish. So you got to look more for a fish hole.
Yeah, but if you're a boob guy, you
Because-
don't really care.
But they have the boobs, so
You
you're
gotta,
good.
you gotta look for a
That's right.
fish hole.
You got to look for the fish hole. That's the equivalent on a
Fish hole.
mermaid to a butt, and you judge a mermaid by her
See,
fish hole.
I don't
That's where
think
she
there's
poops.
You got to look up a song called, I think it's called, it's a mermaid song.
Woo! What?
Good
Talking
Lord.
about how the sailor fell in love with the mermaid, but you know, there's a great rhyme to it. I can't remember, but he said something about really loving her upper half, but the lower half was weird, you know, and so
Hey, I saw Splash,
anyway.
man. I know how it looks.
They're saying they're hearing Scotty
Yeah.
low.
I know. I got that too, but I turned him up, and his volume's good on
oh,
our side.
sorry,
Yeah.
No, you're good.
I don't know
Scotty,
if
you're
that's
good.
my end or your end.
No,
So,
it's just yours is a little bit dull, not dull, but muffled, not muffled so
You know,
much as
it's very possible
it's the
I could have
microphone,
had
I
a
think.
child mess with my soundboard since I last used it. So
There's always that possibility, even a cat.
All right. So I have a question about the reptilians. So
yes,
there are documents out that I've recently read that talk about the reptilians on Mars, or those alien reptilians that are bad and that we're struggling with in some instances over the last few decades. Are these the same reptilians that you talk about in your book?
nothing. I never made a Martian connection in there. One thing I did in the book, and as I was writing it, and I wrote this in the pages of the book, I said, okay, folks, you're reading this book right now, but I'm going to go, as I'm researching this, and type in reptilian aliens in a Google search, which I did. And I said, oh, look at that. Lo and behold, I have 8.2 million hits for reptilians, something like that. I can't remember the exact number. And so I took the top 10, and every one of those top 10 hits, all different websites, they all stated the very same words, almost as if they had plagiarized each other or copied each other's content or copied from a common source, but not a single one of those top 10 gave a source. They
Interesting.
didn't say where they got their information, where it came from, anything like that. But they all were talking about how there was a race of extraterrestrial alien reptilians that came to this planet, and there were terrestrial reptilians that went to war with them. And that war is still going on today. But
Is it multidimensional? Is that why we don't?
Multidimensional, and there is a good way to look at this. I was talking to John Zaffis, if you know who Johnny Zaffis is, demonologist. He was the nephew of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who were big originally in the Amityville case, and many other than Lorraine Warren just passed away a few years ago, and maybe just last year. But he's become kind of the godfather of the paranormal, they call him. And I was talking to him about demonology, and I said, do you think that there's this whole thing about the Reptilian Factor and how it governs behind the scenes of the planet? And he says, oh yeah, he said, and he was talking about demonology and saying that he believed there was a hierarchy of demonology that does the same thing. So now I don't know if these two things if you can say they're the same thing, or if they are different versions of the same thing, different versions of mythology, different versions of spiritual belief. So he believes that there's hierarchies of demons that are behind. You got the thug level, that are going to do your growling at paranormal events and stuff like that. And then you've got your Damien the Omen, type of demon, for lack of a better explanation, that is behind the scenes and that you don't want to mess with.
Yep.
And I think when people brush,
I really don't.
if I can just state this,
I
when they
really
brush
don't
with
in my life.
demonology,
Yep.
When people brush with demonology nowadays, and we hear it, I met demons at this house that we were, and the crucifixes were flying off the walls, and it was demons. And it's like, you don't know if those are demons. But if you're encountering a demon there, you are probably not encountering the same type of demon that's going to be say, behind the thrones of the most powerful nations in the world or powerful people in the world. That's probably a whole nother cast.
All right. So here's the deal.
So,
I am going to do a little research and become a demonologist. And Ron, the only thing is we got to just watch a couple videos, maybe read a couple paragraphs of a book, and we become experts. You know what I'm saying? But then we got to buy super cool freaking uniforms. So when we go fight the demons, bro, we look like we're in a team.
He did this before. He said this before. He said, we're going to get these black cloaks with a white collar and a big old cross on our chest.
Big.
That's what he said.
Oh yeah. Oh, I like that. so like an inverse of the Crusaders, you know.
Dude,
instead of the white cassock, you got the black cassock.
Yeah. I already got my black cloak.
Dude,
how about you?
I got chills.
Yeah, you do.
I want Jedi robes.
Jedi robes. Yep.
Yeah. Black.
I've got one already.
These are some sound effects.
I've got a Jedi robe. It's actually from Harry Potter, but it looks like a Jedi robe.
Oh, a Harry Potter robe.
Yeah, I'm not even joking.
Oh,
dude.
Scotty, look at Scotty. Scotty's like, oh, really? You got one?
I do. I got a real one.
I was like, bro, I was looking for one.
Bought that Joker at Universal Studios. Yeah.
My son Flynn is about as close to a Jedi as you can get right now. When we were at Disney World a couple of months ago,
didn't he make
the robe, he got the real thing.
Yeah.
And he got the lightsaber, the real thing. You know, we built lightsabers
one,
and all of this. And he
those things
he
are
walked
expensive.
around in 98-degree weather.
Yeah, he did.
With 98 percent humidity in his Jedi robes the whole time we were at Star Wars.
Dude.
Or at Disney
Okay.
World.
So
that's funny.
You know, as an adult, I can find myself in a very good imaginative world. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Put yourself back when you were 10, 11, 12, and you put on the real Jedi cape.
Oh, dude.
And you got the effing sword.
The lightsaber. Come on, dude. Sword. What the hell are you talking about?
Dude, in your mind, no matter where you went in public, people were giving you respect.
Yep. Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, he felt the part. I know we're supposed to be talking about reptilians, but
that's all right. We're all over the place.
When we were there, my daughters bought for Flynn and I the Jedi build your own lightsaber experience. Oh. And you're in this town that looks like the town.
It looks exactly like it. Correct.
Exactly. Oh, you were just there.
Yeah, I was just there. Yeah.
The lightsaber place, there's no signs. It's not like big, line up here and get your Jedi robe on and come here.
Oh.
And so you go inside, and it's like you're in this Jedi enclave that's hiding from the Empire. Oh. And you have to put together the low lighting is in there, just like in the movies. And you had to put together your lightsaber. And you chose the pieces, and you put it together, and then they lit them all. It was like ceremony. Oh. They had Yoda's voice. Yoda's voice came over the loudspeakers, and Jedi you are. And but in the music, it almost brought a tear to your eye. It was so immersive.
Immersive, yeah.
Could you imagine being on a hit of acid and being in that bitch?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, the Star Wars area of Disney World and the Harry Potter area of Universal, they are so immersive. And as a matter of fact, I did a 360 camera walkthrough, because when you're about to go into the Harry Potter, it's not Diagon Alley, it's the other one. But when you're going in there, of course, you're walking down the street.
On the cliffs.
Yeah, you're walking down the street in Universal, and you don't know that you're in front of this area, and you literally have to walk through these twisted little areas, and then you come out. And it's completely immersive. It looks just like the movie.
So they're mind bending you.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
dude,
it's unbelievable. And you want to go just to see. I wanted to see those two things.
Yep.
Did you, by the way, Ron? Did you get on the ride, the Rise of the Resistance?
I didn't. No, because
in the little cart going around.
Yeah, we didn't have the pass to get there.
Unbelievable.
What?
Because we didn't stay on the property, so we didn't get early passes, those jump the line passes. It was ridiculous.
Phillips.
It was miserable. No, but I walked up and stood underneath the
Millennium Falcon?
Yeah, the Millennium Falcon. That was pretty cool.
What does that mean?
I felt it.
All right, I can't believe you just said those words.
I seriously have no idea. Honest to God, I'm going to slap the shit out of you guys.
Run in under 12 parsecs.
Exactly. Thank you. It's Han Solo's ship, dude.
That's what it's called?
They have a full-size one.
The
Rocky,
Millennium Falcon?
Yeah. Thank you.
this
Thank you.
one.
Oh, I could drive that thing, I bet.
Yeah, that's nice,
I'll
Scotty.
bet you could.
Look at Ron.
But yeah, they had the full size.
Ron is like, dude, that is
Yeah,
really nice.
it's a
Scotty.
full size, and I think Ray came out. Ray walked down the deal, and she was standing there talking to people. It was pretty cool.
Oh, you
Yeah,
sent me a picture of her.
Cool.
I did. I sent you a picture of
And
Ray.
it looked just like who?
Ray, come on, dude.
Isn't it
But the
supposed to
reason
be
I
Princess
started
Leia?
talking about all that,
No,
Is Ray her daughter?
no.
Are they related? Okay. What's that, Scotty?
I feel
why
like
does that one dude in Star Trek wear a green shirt?
That's what I said to him.
That was
Yeah.
a question Rocky gave me.
of
once.
course.
I was like, why is it so tight and it's too small for him? It's coming up his arms, but he thinks he looks real good and he's having sex with aliens.
There it is.
I think Rocky plays
Well, Rocky
dumb.
said something
He
about
knows
imagine
what
being
Star
10 or
Wars
12.
is.
What?
Yeah.
You know what Star Wars
Dude,
is.
I know what it is. I just don't know all the
Watcher. He'll sit
technicalities
down.
of it. I saw it when I was a kid. That's it. Once I took the boys to go see one of the newer ones. I fell asleep within 15 minutes. I slept through the whole 8 hours of that movie.
That is blasphemous. Never say that again.
It is. It is. I've got three things like that I like: Star Trek, the original, Star Wars, and four things I guess because there's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
My older daughters grew up on that, and my son's getting into it now. And then of course Lord of the Rings, and those are the four big pop cultural mythological literature things that I'm into.
I saw
And,
and enjoyed every Harry Potter, and I would watch reruns of any Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was super hooked, and so was Lisa on the movie Twilight because we couldn't decide if I would have been a better werewolf or if I would have been a better vampire.
I think I'd rather be a werewolf than a vampire.
Yeah, but they stink. That's the only
I
problem.
can come out in the daytime.
That's true.
Well, they could in that one too. They
Yeah, they had,
sparkled.
they
Came out
took
in the daytime.
vitamins.
People on our chat rooms are going, "Are you people kidding me right
What
now?"
about the Twilight?
Well, that you like Twilight. Yes.
What?
probably.
Aren't you going
Dude.
to talk about the reptilians?
No, yeah, we are. Twilight, kind of. Hey, Scotty, we
But
got to go to commercial.
that really segued off of what you were saying, Rocky, about the
Scotty, hold on
10
one
or
second.
12
We got
and-
10 seconds, brother. Folks, Scotty Roberts, ScottyAllenRoberts.com. Quick break. Love you guys. Oh, Ron, what?
Sorry. We'll be back in 2 minutes. I hit the wrong button. Sorry. At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company. Much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs, and if you can dream it, we can probably make it. We can custom laser cut and engrave on nearly all material. Great for one-of-a-kind gifts, home decor, business and specialty items, or personalized and logo designs created just for you or your company. Allow us to become your go-to gift and specialty project partner. Romika Designs can help make your ideas a reality. We're ready to help you design and create that special gift for any occasion or engrave your personal or business logo on just about any product. View our designs at romikadesigns.com or simply email us with your ideas. We specialize in custom design and would be honored to have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@romikadesigns.com, or visit us on the web at romikadesigns.com.
Abnormal realities.
All right. So let's see. Oh, this is a cool one. You may affect magnetic phenomena that makes credit cards unreadable after you've been carrying them. Do you have a problem with your credit cards?
I do not.
He is not a slider.
I'm not a slider.
All right. And number everything is that's no more numbers.
What are you doing? I'm just thinking about how much of a train wreck we are.
Give me a hug.
No, I'm not hugging you. God, how long is this show gonna go? Can't believe you got to the end of the story and you went, humana, humana, humana. There are no more numbers. What?
I thought there's another one. I tried playing it out. It rolled over on me.
Abnormal realities.
Every time I look at the clock, the break gets further away. I don't understand.
With Ron and Rocky. 8 p.m. Eastern, Mojo 50.
Oh!
Yeah, welcome back to Abnormal Realities, folks. I'm Ron Phillips. That is Rocky Stucci. And we have a special guest with us tonight, Scott Allen Roberts.
Oh!
I don't know. I like Scotty better. Welcome back, Scott.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. We didn't really talk a whole lot about reptilians in the first half.
We did not hit it very much.
We talked about some fun stuff, though. You have to admit, that was...
What?
It's immersive. I love that immersive nature. They put some money into that shit. There's not even a joke about that. That's why it costs so damn much money to go to Disney World.
I'm not paying it.
And Universal.
I got to tell you, Ron,
Maybe
I know we should leave that in the first half, but I got to mention that ride of Rise of the Resistance at Galaxy's End, I think is the Star Wars world.
Yeah.
And you go into that and you're like in a little cart with 6 other people, and it's like a droid is running around. You remember in the movies what it looked like to like walk around the Death Star, the black hallways with the vertical lights and all of that. Well, you're in a destroyer, a Star Destroyer, and you're running. They're trying to capture you. They're shooting at you and everything, and this droid is taking you all over the place. You go by these big windows, and it's unbelievable. But then the one big scene in that, you roll into like what would be this big open garage, for lack of a better, and the AT-ATs. You remember those?
In
the Return of the Empire in the snow, and they had the big tall, like 50-foot tall tanks with the legs. There's 2 or 3 of those parked in there, and you're going in between the legs and looking up at them, trying to run around. They're shooting at you, and explosions going on. They built this stuff. And it's unbelievable, immersive experience.
That's the one you missed?
That's the one I missed.
Are you serious?
Yes, but they have an AT-AT outside that you can walk up to too, and they have it's pretty good size. It's pretty good size, but they have the land cruisers, they have ships, they have a bunch of stuff that's outside mocked up, and then they have the Millennium Falcon. Unfortunately, I just didn't get the opportunity to go in that day, but man, I really wanted to. That was one of the 2 rides I wanted to ride.
You made it into a location where they were singing "Let It Go" or something.
Yeah, I did. You got to think about who I was with, though. Thank you.
Speaking of, one other thing. The first day we did this, it was at their Animal Kingdom park.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Yeah, that's where Pandora is. Yeah.
And you go through that ride through the tunnel, in the water, and unbelievable.
That would
absolutely
be cool.
Unbelievable.
Now that one I did do. Yeah, that one I did do. The Navi River
was it cool?
Cruise. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. All right, Rocky, what do you got?
All right, Scotty. So, Antarctica.
Oh, I want to know about this.
Okay.
I was going to say that there's been a lot of talk about Antarctica. I don't know as much about it as Nancy does. Research that she's done on that. I don't really know the reptilian connections to Antarctica.
Well, so Ron at the beginning of the show, he asked, were your reptilians similar to the reptilians a lot of these groups talk about in regards to the 15-foot tall monsters that stank? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And honestly, my personal opinion is yours was of like a historical research. Yours wasn't in a fashion of there's these creatures running our governments all over the planet and they're making decisions
that
for
was
us.
Not the tack that I took. I started the book in the beginning of the book, and I'll get back to the point about Antarctica. But in the beginning of the book, I had talked to a woman back at the time when I was researching who gave me her account of experiencing reptilians. And this woman, she started talking and saying, well, I had a reptilian man that would come and visit me it was like Thursday night or something. I don't know. Thursday is Reptilian Day, like Taco Tuesday. I don't
Thursday
know.
Night, Reptilian Date Night.
And Reptilian Date Night. Put it on your calendar. No, but she sounded very serious. He would come and visit me, And she said his skin it was kind of a cinnamony and cardboard. If you could take like clean cardboard and then cinnamon, she said it had that kind of smell to it. And she said it wasn't a bad odor at all.
It was cinnamon.
The skin very silky.
It was cinnamon what?
Like
cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Oh my God.
Woo!
Oh, cinnamon. Somebody I should know.
No,
probably.
Oh, never mind.
No, probably.
On the lower stage,
she's on the lower
gentlemen, we
stage
got
tonight.
Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Got it.
Sorry.
And so, but then she got into this. She started talking about how they would have passionate sex every Thursday. But he gave her all these different secrets about why the reptilians were here and so on. And by the time I was done reading her account, she emailed me.
She was having sex with the
Yes.
lizard dude?
Yeah,
Yes.
she was
Dude, that
having
is
sex
so
with the
cool.
reptilian.
You know how
And
much money you can
I
make off
started
that?
to wonder. I wonder what kind of life this woman leads.
Oh.
Is this a real experience? Now we would look at ghost experiences we've had. There are some skeptics out there who go, "Nah, you don't have those kind of experiences." Well,
Right.
yeah, we do. Well, maybe my initial reaction was, this is a lonely woman who needs this in her life, and she's created this world. And so while I did research, I went back into talking about the Anunnaki, the historical Anunnaki, the gods of the Anu. And I started looking into them. I started looking into ancient Sumerian culture. And all of this as I was writing this book, trying to give and dug deep into Enki and Ea and all these different characters to try to build a background for the reptilian culture, because it's always been linked to this Anunnaki culture. But as I went on in the book and I wrote about this woman's episode, or her experience, I started getting more into, I chose Freud and Adler, the two fathers of modern psychology, who one of them, Freud, was always like, you got to look back, it's, you got to look at why you like a cigar in your mouth. And, and then there was Adler, who was like, you've got to look forward. Freud was like, you got to pull yourself backwards to see where the source of things are. Adler said, you have to pull yourself forward to get to the things that you want. And he says, so this is what we do psychologically. And so the book started becoming a look at the psychology of why people need to believe in the reptilians, whether they're real or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being on a radio show, it was a Mysterious Universe, way back when the book came out, 2013, 2014. And they asked me, so Scotty, at the end of it, so Scotty, do you believe in reptilians? Are they real? And I said, I don't know. It comes down to I don't know, because it's like looking at the movies of the last 20 years. Think back, and God, this is 20 years ago now when you think about it. Independence Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You look at that movie, you look at movies like that, and all the movies like that were coming out, they were speaking of alien invasion, alien apocalypse, all of these. And we started thinking, maybe there is something that somebody out there pulling the strings is trying to release this information slowly to us. And that came up in my mind again, because Rainey my wife said to me the other day, she said, did you see that article that NASA has hired 11 different clergy to be able to help train people to deal with alien contact?
I feel so much better about that.
And you're like,
why? I mean, why do we need the clergy to help us decide how we're going to feel about it?
Because,
dude. What does that tell you, though, about that? That is either one of two things again. It's either there's something cooking out there,
Yep.
and we're going to find out something. They want to prepare people for it, or it's a huge cover story. It's a huge diversion for something else, and there's nothing true to it at all. And here's the problem with all of this, as in with politics. You never know what is the actual truth about these things. Then you have people who have experiences. You have experiencers.
Yep.
And those experiencers are about the only people that have seen things firsthand. I look at, and I've told this story before.
Hey, Scotty, I don't know if you know this, but recently I've been an experiencer.
Of what?
Oh, was that story you told me about?
I woke up and Lisa was...
Come on, dude.
I was abducted by Lisa. and she did scientific research.
Are
on
you
me.
high?
No. But I was abducted by Lisa. Have you never
And
been
she
abducted?
did scientific research on you.
She did scientific research, and then she said, I love you. And I said, I love you too.
Were you probed?
Wow.
What?
Were you probed?
Why would you think of something like that?
Were you probed?
No, I was not.
You lying.
No, what?
You lying.
You know what my beautiful, absolutely beautiful, gorgeous wife said to me today?
What?
She said, I had a dream last night that you and I were like having sex, she said. And she used other more colorful language, but she said, you and I were we were just read all the buildup, and then the kids walked in and turned on the TV. And she said, and I woke up. And I said, oh, real life hits your dreams.
Real life. Snuck right in.
Real life.
Lisa claims that never happened, but whatever. I dreamt it.
Claims it never happened, yeah.
All right.
My wife claims things never happened.
Okay, so
when I was writing my Reptilians book, Rainey told me that she was, you remember the house where you and I first met? You came over to my house.
Yep.
That backyard was the big open area with all the big oak trees.
Yep.
And she insisted that she saw reptilian people at the window.
Rainey did?
And I said, yeah, Rainey. Now, you know Rainey. Rainey's smart. She's witty. She's common sense. She's an intelligent person. She's not given to fantasy. And she told me this. And I said, why didn't you tell me this? And she said, well, I didn't want you to think I was crazy.
Oh.
I said, this is what I do. I live crazy. And that's back when I was writing the book. And she's had a lot of experiences. And like that, she sees things. She has things talk to her.
What would freak you out more, seeing a human ghost or seeing a lizard dude thingy?
I think equally freaky.
Equally freaking out, yeah.
I think ghosts, there's a thing with a ghost. If somebody tells you they saw a ghost, you're going, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And until you experience it. And now, Rocky, I'm probably a lot like you, maybe Ron like you to a certain extent. A ghost doesn't so much scare me. That doesn't mean they won't startle me and make me pee my pants.
Right.
You know, that's the kind of thing when I had spirits in the house. And I remember saying to it once, I said, you can talk to me anytime you want, but don't come and hover over my bed at night. I'll pee the sheets. And
what if you woke up and it was
somebody else who said,
oh my God, dude.
Well, no, seriously. Dude, if you were being harassed by a ghost and you woke up and it was playing jump, it was like, it was doing things to you. Would you freak out?
I asked Rainey that question once. I said, would I be cheating on you if I had sex with a ghost?
That's a question to be talked about.
Is it?
The thing is Rainey's answer. Rainey's answer was like this. Rainey's answer was like, have you?
Oh.
She
was just curious.
I was just curious.
So my son sent me a text message, and I'll read it. He says, these alien beings have a different frequency that they give off to their bodies, and it doesn't interact with our frequency very good. And so we have to kind of get used to them being in the same room with us because your body automatically wants to fight or flight, and it's because of their different frequency. What does that mean?
I think it's the same way we are with ghosts and spirits.
I was just thinking the same thing.
First thing I would say to that, no offense at all to your son, but I listen when somebody says that to me, I go, how do you know that? How do we know that? Where have we been able to ever test the frequency level at which a ghost or a reptilian or an alien or an interdimensional character appears to us? Now, we have all these things we've been able to do. You guys need to talk to David Roundtree sometime about the gamma ray stuff that he picks up. And he finds that whenever there's psychic activity or ghost activity, it raises. And that's the
it's like almost like a nuclear, small nuclear reaction.
Like a door opening and shutting, he said. Yeah. And so maybe there is something to that. There are different frequencies. We already know catching an EVP, that's a totally different frequency than you hear with the audible sound. Reptilians, if they are here, and it's very possible, are they invisible characters? Are they ghosts, or are they physical, corporeal beings from another place?
Okay, let's not
And
say
if they
let's
are-
not say so much reptilians. Let's just say overall another species
Yeah. Sure.
living among us. I
First
mean,
of all, what I started to say is that we just have no way to measure that right now.
Yeah.
Unless you're set. I mean, how many ghosts or aliens can you bring into a laboratory setting and have a controlled setting and do the scientific methodology to see what works, what doesn't work? We can't do that. There are people who are set up to run experiments, and they'll take experiments and they'll find maybe this is what your son has done. He's either read or knows of or has done it himself to read that there are different frequencies at which these beings appear to us. Now, would that mean that they are physical, corporeal? What if they're from... Remember when I said I found those millions of entries on the internet for reptilian aliens, and the first 10 all had the same story?
Yeah.
The same story said they all came from the star system of in the constellation of Draco.
oh,
And I thought, how appropriate. Maybe that's why it was named Draco.
how appropriate.
But
Yeah,
that's
Draco.
where they all came from, and they came to this planet. Now, are they physical beings when they do that? Do they arrive in physical ships, land physically? Were they here in a physical capacity?
All right, so Scotty, there's
If
another
they're
thing too.
if they're interdimensional, there might not be the same physical qualities.
Well, that's it too. When you talk about frequency, there's different types of things, paranormally speaking, that we deal with. So how do we determine and what's at what frequency, and how do we, like you just said, how do we measure that, right? But so we ask those questions, and I think it's really important that we ask those questions. I think it's what we have to do, right? But even with those questions being asked and very logical, I still believe that there's so much we don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we just can't think beyond our reality and our capabilities to think beyond that to really understand interdimensional frequencies are different things at different frequencies in different time and different space. Can they interact with one another on the same frequency or different frequencies?
Well, I mean, and there are people who believe that some of the leaders of our country and the world
Yep.
are reptilian,
Oh yeah.
and that they have different frequency. Their
You're
body
talking
gives off a
David
different.
Icke stuff there.
Yeah, their body
Yeah.
gives off a different frequency. What was the name that he gave me? Emery Smith. But that have a different frequency, and the U.S. or the government has created biomechanical or bio something tools to be able to tell whether or not this person is a human being or a reptilian.
What?
So that we'll know. I mean,
What if you
Now, I
went
know
and got
nothing
tested?
about-
And what if you found out that you were actually reptilian and your whole
how?
life? you thought you
No.
were
Would I
human?
not know that though?
I don't know. And then Misty would be like,
There's a
"Oh my
certain-
God,
there's
I've been
a
sleeping with a
certain blood
lizard."
type. There's a certain blood type
Yeah.
that is, they found in like the mid 1950s that this blood type existed in no other place on the planet. And they started chalking that up to the if you will, the mythologists and so on, the mythos people. I'm not talking about fake, I'm talking about the mythos of something. Started building up around that. That's probably reptilian blood. Then this is the reptilian DNA, and I don't know enough about it to speak to it intelligently.
Scotty, what about the tall blondes? They're supposed to be like another species
Elves.
of something. No,
Elves.
the super tall. They're like seven.
The
Are they
Nordics?
elves? Are they Nordics?
I don't know.
Well-
That might be something
Well,
like that.
I do know that I'm mostly talking about where I think some of that came from. They talked about, look at Tolkien again, look at Lord of the Rings, look at the mythology he built. What were the elves? They were tall, elegant, blonde, silky hair. They glowed. Look back in the mythology, and it talks about how the kings who came from other worlds and this is in Celtic mythology, and they came and landed in Ireland, and they went to, there was war that went on, and they were driven, the humans drove them into, and they were tall, elegant, the tall, elegant, bright, shining kings from heavens, from the heavens.
Okay.
Even the biblical account of the Nephilim, the tall, elegant kings, the sons of the gods, that came down from the heavens. And but it says in the Celtic mythology, they were driven into the hollow hills, and they became later known as the Elven folk. And that this is where this came from. This is where this mythology came from. So how much of this, you look at the elementals nowadays, and some of the descriptions you see. Rocky, you and I were talking once about that show that came on TV about the elementals down in the deep south here in the mining country.
Yeah, little
and
elves,
how
3-foot
they
elves.
had the look of what we would consider like alien grays. Now, is that coincidental? Does that cross over? Are our mythologies of the elven folk, of the fairy folk or the fae, are our mythologies of elementals, earth spirits, earthbound spirits?
So Scotty, I just got to say something, and I just got to say this. All right, so check it out. Here we go. If somebody called me up and said, hey, Ron, hey, Scotty, I need you guys to come to my house. I'm like, why? What do you need? They're like, well, there's a cave in my backyard. And it's really, really, really far away, but it's still on my property. But there's these little 3-foot elf alien style kind of creatures with big eyes and fangs. And I really haven't confirmed that they're living in the cave. I'm in. Right. No. So I need to come over.
I'm on it.
Hell no.
I'm on it, dude.
No. Exactly.
I am on it.
Oh, yeah. You're going to start walking in a cave. You're going to start looking around.
I didn't say I was walking in the cave. I just want to see them little bitches.
Batty-eyed little thing with like outer space weapons ready to whoop your ass, and it growls at you and you see teeth.
I'm on it.
I am not going in a cave.
Barry Fitzgerald, who is the Irishman who was in Ghost Hunters International. He was the head of that team when that show was on. Good friend of mine. And he lives, I think, not outside of Belfast, but up north in Ireland. And he was talking about the caves there. He would write about all the things that dwell beneath our feet, he said. And he would go up into the caves. And even now, one of the mythologies of the caves, you go back 100 years, 200 years, they would call it the voice of the fae or the voice of the elementals of the fairy folk, you know, and you would hear these voices coming from the depths of the cave. And what did I miss?
What the hell's wrong with you, Phillips?
I had him mute so I could sneeze, but I forgot to mute.
No,
I heard
you
that.
should have seen it. I don't care what it sounded like.
I'm sorry, Rocky. I wasn't trying to.
He punches me. All right, and tells me to hurry up and mute because he was at like Code Blue going to Code Red for the explosion coming out his gut with the sneeze. And all of a sudden, this whole effing floor just said, brrr. I was like, damn.
And then I forgot. I forgot to mute.
That was an experience.
Damn it. I'm sorry, Scotty. I didn't mean to interrupt
my
you.
soul.
I've done that. I've been doing radio, and I had a cough or a sneeze come up, and I don't have enough time to even reach the button.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm
that was embarrassing. I'm sorry.
All right. So, Scotty, I got a question for you. We got 5 minutes. So you wrote a book from a completely different perspective in regard to the reptilians, comparatively speaking to what we talked about with Nancy yesterday.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, we're talking two different worlds here. What prompted you not to write a conclusion or an alternative to your original writings in regards to the other side of the conversations of reptilians, like the Antarctica, the
Mars?
Yeah.
I think first of all, there was a little innate, not that I give a good goddamn what anybody thinks about what anybody thinks about what I think. But at the time I wrote the book, it's like, I don't want to come across like an ancient alienist because I'm not that. And I said, I've always believed, I grew up on Star Trek. And so as a kid, I always believed there was that something out there. As Dan Madsen and I used to talk about an awful lot. Everything I do now was built off of the curiosities I've had since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't want to come across, especially when I cannot prove their existence. I'll talk about ghosts for a mile and a half.
Yep.
Because you've
had the experience.
I can prove their existence. I've had the experience. I've never seen an alien that I know of, and I know people who have. It's like I started to say this. You know the author Whitley Strieber. Mm-hmm. He wrote the book Communion with the big alien gray on the front cover of it, like 25 years ago. And he wrote a series of books on his experiences. He was a thriller and a horror writer before that. And you can find him now on the radio everywhere. And he was interviewing me for my book on the Nephilim. And I said in the course of that interview, and I've told this story before on the radio, but I said, Whitley, you're a crackpot. And you know why? I said, because you are one of those guys that has seen and experienced something that nobody else was there to see and experience with you. And I said, no matter how real it is to you or how real it actually was, you were the only one there. And so therefore, you are now a crackpot. And I said, it's the same thing. I said, it's like Moses at the burning bush. You know, he was the only one there. And so it's, take my word for it. Trust me, he said. And but he was the only one there to see it. And it's the same thing with all these things, Rocky. If you're not there to see it and experience it, what are you going to do? You start looking at the things Nancy looks into and all of that stuff. I've seen all of that stuff. I can't speak intelligently to it because I haven't researched it. Well, but there is something to all that stuff.
To compare what you're speaking of, that night we experienced a Big Bang, something Barry Fitzgerald experienced out in Ireland in the caves. So we can tell that story 1,005 times. But the story will never have the impact of what we felt.
Yeah, see, I don't get the impact from it because I wasn't there. And I tell Rocky all the time, I just want the experience. I want to experience something that makes me question everything that I've thought in the past. And that's what I was looking for at the Hill House. But
when you're standing on the knoll at the Renaissance Festival grounds, the last couple 3 years ago, Rocky, I know that one year where we had all that communication coming out and something called your name by name. Audrey, who is a listener to this show, she had her name called out. I've had my name called out. When you experience that and there's nobody there doing it, there's nobody in the room, there's nobody around you, there's nobody broadcasting to you, and you hear that and you know for a fact, you go,
Ron Phillips.
Well, we heard Ron.
And once you hear that, or Jim Cunningham at the Renaissance Festival, and an old friend of ours that had died out there, and we said, if you're here, you want to say hi to Jimmy, and over the spirit box, say, hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Scotty, we got 30 seconds, brother. Let everybody know how they can follow you, your work, and everything you have going on, brother.
Just go to my website, ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's
2 T's, 1 L.
Allen, A-L. So ScottAllenRoberts.com. You can find anywhere to find me there.
Boom. Scott Allen Roberts. Scotty, we love you, folks. Not the last time you're going to see Scotty.
Yep, hang on. We'll be back with you after the show. Hang on just
Scotty gives great hugs, folks. I mean, like long ones, too, and it's really weird.
He squeezes your butt.
He sure does. Folks, abnormalrealities.com, RomikaDesigns.com, InsaneCustomTumblers.com. Folks, we love you. Get your asses over there. Listen to the podcast. Follow us on Spreaker as well. Rob Phillips, come on!
Yeah, please share the show. And also, if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. We're trying to get above 1,000 subscribers. We can't do certain things until we get there. We will see you guys tomorrow night. Peace. Good night.